and thank you for attending today's webinar. My name is Martin Guerrero. I'm with the Square Community Affairs team, and I'm going to be walking you through the full demonstration of the online store for our retail sellers. So this walkthrough will be geared towards a retail shop. Maybe you have a current brick and mortar location that you want to now offer online sales for. We're going to go through how to do that with the Square Online Store today. All right, so just to contextualize all of this, we'll be walking through these steps as though I'm a real merchant getting set up on the online store for the very first time. In order to boost my sales, I want to offer online ordering with the option for curbside pickup for local sales and shipping for anyone nationwide. We're going to call it Mike's Bikes. So the Square Online Store integrates with point of sale, which simplifies order, item, and inventory management. Whether you offer shipping or offering in-store pickup, your online and in-store businesses are always in sync. Okay, so to get started, get the onboarding process started, I'm gonna go and log into my Square account, and you'll see here I'm logged in. This is a pretty familiar screen for most of you if you're already a Square seller. On the left-hand side here, we see the blue online store button. I'm gonna go ahead and click on that to get started. All right, and next up here, after clicking get started, our online store, I'll be prompted to get started, which is definitely what I want to do. If you scroll down on this page, you'll see a lot more information, details about the online store, but we're just going to go right into it right now. So click and get started. All right, so first thing is I'm going to be asked to choose whether I want a single ordering page, great for getting set up quickly, and maybe if you have a small amount of items, the single page would do great for that. Or if I plan to build out a more robust multi-page website, I have the option there for a full website. We also recently launched checkout links. So if you don't need a full website at all, but you want to have your buyers be able to pay you online, you can send them a checkout link for a specific amount via text or email. I'm going to choose a single ordering page because I want to get up and running as soon as possible. I can always add extra pages to the single page at any point in time. And same with the full website page. It's going to come with a few standard pages. I can add pages to that or remove pages. So I'm going to click on single shopping page and continue. All right, next up, I select how I plan to fulfill my orders. These selections can always be adjusted later on if need be. I'm going to offer pickup and ship to buyers. You'll see we offer delivery as well. A lot of our food industry merchants are using that locally right now. Okay, so I've made my selections there. The online store is being created for me on the back end. This is where it's going to sync over all of my item library, all of the items I have in my current store, in my Square dashboard. All of that's being moved over along with all my location information. All right, as soon as that's done, it'll drop me off here at the main dashboard for all things online store related. Okay, so at this point, we can actually go right into building the website, but I'm going to hold off on that till the end part, and I'm going to go over all the store settings. This is all the back-end stuff that you would do to make sure your store is functioning properly to be able to take orders and all of your, your back-end settings. So we're going to go through all of that here. All right, so back to the online store dashboard here. You can see everything's going to be found on the left-hand side. Being that if this is a new store, you'll see I've got a setup guide popping up here with some video help here as well. So we're going to try to walk you through mostly everything here to get you up and running, as soon as possible. But again, you can take your time, work on it how you feel, but again, made for speed to get you up and running right away. So I'm going to click on settings in the bottom left-hand corner here, and we're just going to go through all the basic settings, make sure everything's set up for my store here. All right, so the first option here under settings is general. This is where I can set up and adjust basics like my store address, email, phone number, etc. This already syncs over from your Square account, but if you need to adjust it here, you can do so here. All right, next tab is checkout, and I want to make sure that accept online orders is turned on. If for whatever reason, maybe you're taking a vacation or just need a break from orders, maybe you're getting a ton of orders and need to stop for a bit, you can just click on this to turn it off. Your website will still be up and running. They just won't be able to make orders on the website. So that's a really important button there. Also really useful to have Apple and Google Pay turned on, so people can easily order from their mobile phones or even from their computers with really quick and easy process there. No additional cost to enable those. All right, scrolling down a little bit on the checkout area here, we've got some advanced settings that I want to point out. Typically, you'll want to allow the customer to receive text message alerts. That's a really asked for feature now, just keeping people updated via text as to the status of their order. Also recommend leaving or turning on to leave a note to seller at checkout. This will show up as the last step your buyer completes in the checkout flow. All right, so after making those changes, I'm going to click Save in the upper right-hand corner here. Next up is your store emails. And this is going to be where you can customize the email that goes out, either via the order confirmation or the shipping email. This is where you would send up your sender profile. This would be all the information you want sent through the email, your name, address, phone number, anything like that. All right, next up is going to be abandoned carts. So this is an upgraded feature. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set up a fully functioning website on our free plan right now. This is an upgraded feature. This is basically if someone adds something goes to your website, adds something to the cart, goes to checkout, the very first thing we ask for is their email, and that's for this purpose here. If let's say after an hour they don't check out and they leave the cart, you can set an automated email to be sent out like, hey, you left something in the cart. Here's a 10% coupon to complete your order, something like that. All right, I'm going to skip shipping, pickup, and delivery for now, because we're going to spend a bit of time on those. And then we're going to go right into taxes here. So I'm going to click on Add Tax Rate. Taxes do not sync over currently from your Square account, so those must be set up here. I'll get prompted here to set up my taxes. It'll autofill the tax rate for my store address. Being that I'm in Arizona, it's going to pick my Arizona tax rate here. I can also, if I don't want it to automatically do this, I can go in and set my own tax rates, but I really like things easy. I'm just going to select automatically calculate taxes and click Save. All right, the last option in the dropdown here is Square Sync. That allows me to control the syncing of things like item photos and descriptions. Again, everything syncs back and forth from your point of sale, your Square dashboard, and your online store. Item names, prices, pictures, all of that moves back and forth in real time. And the selected location here, that's the one we're going to use as our base for shipping orders. This would really only apply if you have multiple locations. You can select which location you want to be the one that gets all the shipping done from. All right, so that's really a lot of the basic setup there. And a lot of that is really just kind of set it and forget it. And then you can always go in and adjust it later on, but really it's just a kind of a one-time setup there. All right, so I want to charge for shipping here. So we're going to go through that setup. Shipping bikes are pretty heavy, so definitely want to charge my buyers shipping because I don't want to eat all of that cost. So back to the settings section here. I'm going right into shipping, clicking on Setup Shipping here. Here I can add rates and regions. So I can have rates for US and rates for, let's say, Canada and Mexico. Those would be different regions. I'm going to click Add Shipping Rate. All right, so you can see we've got a couple different rates applicable here. A flat rate, free shipping rates. You can do your rates by order weight, by order total, by item quantity. I'm going to do by order total for shipping to the US. And you can see it's got USA selected there. And you can actually go in and unselect any states you don't want to ship to. I'm in Arizona. I really don't want to ship bikes to Hawaii. I'm going to uncheck Hawaii and Alaska, knowing that the rates for shipping there are not even that heavy. It's going to be very high. Okay, so I'm going to set up my shipping rates here. I do sell some smaller items, so I've got a basic rate of $5 for any orders from $0 to $100. That could be any of my accessories. But for the bikes, I've got $50 rate for any orders over $100 up to $800, and then $100 rate for any bikes, any order total over $800 up to $1,000. And then I've got here my fallback rate So if someone was to order something over $2,000, it would charge them $225 shipping. And so I've got those set up here, and this will be shown at checkout, the shipping rate. So you can name it whatever you want. Clicking done. All right, and there's my rates. So you can see I've got all my shipping rates there. I can always come back and edit these at any time, delete, add, anything there. So I'm going to click on save. All right, so my shipping rates are set up. Pretty simple setup there for shipping. You can for shipping, you can get much more complicated or much more complex by adding connecting your UPS, USPS, FedEx, or DHL account for real-time shipping rates. That would be on one of our upgraded plans. But again, if you already have existing rates with those companies, you can connect your account to us and get those rates and real-time rates calculated in the shopping cart. So next up, we're gonna do our settings for curbside pickup. Really popular option nowadays, especially with shelter-in-place mandates. Or you don't really want too many people in our shop. It's pretty small, so we want them to order online. All the payments handled there. No money exchanges hands in the store. They just show up, let us know, what vehicle they're in, and we bring their bike out. They show us their receipt, and they're good to go. All right, so let's go through those setup options here. All right, so clicking on pickup and delivery, we can see here my location information is already set up, and I can toggle, pickup and delivery on and off here. If I had multiple locations, they could have their own settings. I'm gonna click edit location here. And now you can see an overview of the current settings that are there. And I can click edit to adjust any of those sections. I also wanna make sure my hours are correct. So I'm gonna click edit under hours here. All right, so here's my current hours. Important to note, these are separate from my business hours, okay? By default, hours are the same for pickup and or delivery, but you can toggle that on or off if you have delivery set up. You can have different hours for in-store pickup and different hours for delivery here. See, my time zone is there. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit. And we can see here my order prep time. So what that means is I've got it set right now to an hour. So that means anything my customers order locally for pickup will be prepared and ready for them to pick up within an hour. Once I'm done here, I can click save. But again, you can adjust that. So if you have smaller items on hand that maybe take you 5, 15, 30 minutes to bag up ready for pickup, you can adjust that. But for us, it's a bike that's in the back warehouse. Make sure we have the right one and pull it out for our customers here. Click and save. All right, some more pickup settings here. I do want to allow curbside pickups, and I've got a number here that they can call. I want to also allow scheduled pickups. So today, being Monday, I could schedule a pickup. I could order the bike right now on the website and have it set to pick up on Friday. That would be a scheduled pickup. And then I can add notes down here, letting people know what to do for curbside pickup. I've got some assigned spots out front. They can park there and let us know they're here, and we'll bring out their order to them. Click and save. All right, so I've saved my pickup and delivery settings. Obviously, you can spend as much time in there as you want, setting everything exactly how you want it, and change those at any time. In the upper right-hand corner here, we have advanced settings that apply to any and all locations. Gonna click on that now. Here we can see a couple other options here. I can make adjustments to order quantity. Maybe I don't want someone ordering 5, 10 bikes at once. Maybe I want to limit it to 2 bikes at once or something like that. You can do that. Really useful if you're a food service restaurant and you don't want someone ordering 20 hamburgers at once and messing up your order flow. Also, order tipping is offered on retail as well. Not something you have to offer, but you can. And then any adjustments you make here, just click save. Okay, so we're done with a lot of the back-end store setup. And again, a lot of that's going to be, pretty much set it and forget it. But it is important to go through those and make sure those are set the way you want them. So next up, we're going to go through our items, which your items being, the goods and services you're selling on your website. All right, so again, back to the online dashboard here, and we're clicking on items and item library. The great part about online store, the Square Online Store, is it already syncs over all of my items that I had in my score dashboard and in my catalog there. Here, I'm going to select the items I want to display online. So really important note there. Let's say you've got 100 items in your library. We're going to sync them all over, but you can select, maybe you only want to sell 25 or 50 of those items online. You can select which ones to sell here. That way, maybe you want to just sell those. You don't want to sell your entire item library online. So click and select items. If you didn't already have an item library, obviously here you can click on create new item to start creating items for sale. All right, so here's all the items that earlier the store did a sync of to make sure they're all here. I've got 12 items total. I want to sell all of them online, so I'm just going to leave it as is and select done. All right, so here now is our item library. You can see all of my items here. The images have come over, the names, the descriptions. My stock is here as well. Stock does track if you've got that turned on. I'm just going to click into one of these items here for a little more detail. Okay, so just clicking into one of the bikes here, we can see I can make adjustments to the item's title, the description. I can add more images here as well, so I can add multiple images. And then you can see here my visibility. And that's an important thing to note here. We'll go over it. So visible means it can be seen and purchased on my site at all times. It's going to be on my standard shopping page. It'll always be seen. Hidden means it cannot be seen on my shop all page, but it can be purchased on my website if I link to it via text or a button or an image link. Unavailable means it cannot be seen or purchased on my website at all. So those would be those items you just don't want to sell online. If I scroll down a little bit, I can see here my fulfillment method is there. I've got shipping, pickup, and delivery, so it's got all. And then you can actually set up prep times for individual items if you wanted to. Maybe there's something that takes a little longer to get ready. You can set a different prep time for that, but by default, it'll use that hour that we set up earlier. Okay. Right. Click and save here. All right, so moving on to categories. So categories do not currently sync over from the Square dashboard. Those are going to be used more for reporting purposes. Categories on your website are going to be more the way you organize your website visually. So I'm just going to click Add Category here. All right, so I'm going to start by giving it a name. I can add an image to it if I want, but really not necessary. Then I'm just going to click Choose Items, start adding items to this specific category. All right, so you can see it pops up here. Now I've got the 7-speed aluminum frame bikes, 4 of them. I'm going to select those, put those into that category, and click Save. Okay, so I don't want to bore you with setting up multiple categories here. You can see it's pretty straightforward. I've got 3 set up here now for the aluminum 7-speed and the wide ride 3-inch cruisers. And then I've got accessories for sale as well. Unlimited amount of categories you can have. You can also have subcategories in here. All right, so all my items are essentially ready to go as far as being available for sale online. Next up, we're going to go into building the actual website, and we can actually be live and taking orders here pretty soon. All right, so we're going to go into the final stages here, website setup, done all the back-end work. So now we're going to go into designing the public-facing part of the website. I'm going to click on the website tab here on the left-hand side. But first, we want to go, before we go into edit site, I want to go over general settings here. A good section to be familiar with. Here you can adjust your site address, your site title. It usually defaults to my site. I've updated that to Mike's Bikes. That's what appears in your browser's tab and also when you save it to bookmarks. So pretty important there. Also shows up in your SEO, your search engine optimization, when people find you on Google. All right, scrolling down. If you had a website that you wanted to set up in a different language, you could do that here. If your site was up and running and published, you could come here to unpublish it to take it down. If you're in the middle of building your website and you're just not liking the way it looks, the way the design is, and wanted to just start over, here's where you would click the reset to default button. Now, this will not unsync your items. Those are always there all the time. Your categories, prices, all of that always remains. This would just be in regards to the design of the website. All right, so going back to the online dashboard and clicking now, edit site. Okay, All right, so because of my previous selections, in my account I had set up as a retail shop. It knows that I'm a retailer, so it's going to offer me some settings here. Anything I click onto here is going to be added to the page. Don't sweat this too much. Any of these sections can be added at any point during the building of the site, or can be added, removed, any of that. So I want all of these here. We'll leave it as is. Clicking next here. All right, so here I'm going to be prompted to add my business's logo. If you don't have one right now, no sweat. Again, you can click on skip this step. If you don't have one, it's just going to use your title there. Like in this case, if I didn't have a logo to upload, it would just show as Mike Spikes. But I'm going to click add logo here. All right, so I've added my logo, and the last option here is my style. These are my font choices and my color scheme. Again, these can also be updated at any point, so don't sweat them too much. If you don't see the color that you like, you can actually change that later on under the site design button, and you can actually enter in the hex codes for specific colors. So I've got that set up here, and as you click the fonts or the colors, that'll change on the screen on the right here. Like I have the black selected, and you can see the black Shop Now button. I will select green, that button would turn green. So it actually shows you a preview there. All right, so I'm going to click finish. Okay, so now we're into the main editor. First thing we see here is a prompt to select the domain name. I'm going to exit. I'm going to X out of that.